Today, when I'm trying new games, I typically like to start a new series at the beginning. However, that wasn't always the case. Today, I'm going to be talking through 5 series that I didn't start at the very beginning. My name is James, and I started this channel simply because I love video games. If that sounds like you, please subscribe to my channel so that you can see more videos just like this one. So these are some series that I did not start at the very beginning. Some of them I have since gone back and played the earlier games in the series, but some of them I haven't. Let's get started. Up first is The Legend of Zelda. My entry into the series was on the N64 with Ocarina of Time. The Legend of Zelda has since become one of my favorite series, and I don't even know as a kid. I imagine that how I came to have Ocarina of Time was probably that when we got our N64, my mom was probably shopping around and trying to see like what games are good. And so somebody at GameStop probably told my mom, like, this game is really good, you should get this game. And I don't even think I knew that The Legend of Zelda was a series. I just knew that I liked this game. It was the first game that I ever 100%. I remember going through guides on GameFAQs to get all of the gold Skullatulas, and also trying to track down all of the heart pieces. That everything that there was available to do in this game, I wanted to do it. And later on, when I had a GameCube, I played some of the GameCube games. It wasn't probably until that I got a 3DS in college that I had played the earlier Zelda games like Zelda 1 and Zelda 2 and A Link to the Past. And I think that's probably when my love for the series really flourished into something special. I guess with all of these Zelda games being so disconnected from one another, it's okay that I did go and play them out of order, and I'm really glad that I got into the series. Up next is the Metroid series. As my longtime viewers will know, my entrance to the Metroid series was Metroid Prime. I played Metroid Prime and Metroid Prime 2 on GameCube when they came out. I played Metroid Prime 3 when it came out on Wii. I even played Metroid Other M on Wii when it came out. But between like 2002-ish, when Metroid Prime came out, and probably like 2021, whenever Metroid Dread came out, there were no 2D Metroid games releasing. So Metroid Dread, when it came out, was my first 2D Metroid game. Between 2023 and 2024, I've played the other 2D Metroid games that I missed out on. So that one I actually am all the way caught up on. And as a bonus, if you'd like to know what my thoughts were on the other 2D Metroid games, I did do a ranking of the 2D Metroid games that you might want to go and check out. Up next is the Far Cry series. I'm going to be honest, I don't even know what platforms the original Far Cry was on. First Far Cry experience was actually Far Cry Primal. Far Cry Primal was actually one of the very first games that I bought when I bought my Xbox One. I was living with a guy at the time who had played way more Xbox games than I did, and he had told me people refer to the Far Cry series as Skyrim with guns. So Far Cry Primal would be Skyrim with guns without guns. So I bought and started playing Far Cry Primal, thinking that it was going to be similar to Skyrim. That's not what the game is at all, and because of that, I was completely disappointed by that game, and I actually think it's surprising that I ever even tried Far Cry again. Also, he was mistaken. People don't call Far Cry Skyrim with guns. They say that about Fallout, which by the time he had corrected himself, it was too late, and I had already regret that purchase. Anyway, when Far Cry 5 came out in 2018, it looked really interesting to me, and I did, for some reason, decide to go ahead and play it, and I had a really great time with it. And so I've played every Far Cry game that's come out since then, which I guess is really just 2 games, Far Cry New Dawn and Far Cry 6, and I've purchased Far Cry 3 and Far Cry 4, so I would like to get back and experience all of those at some point. I don't know if I'll ever actually get to the original Far Cry, but it's exciting to me that I still have Far Cry 2, 3, and 4 available for me when I'm ready for them. Up next is Metal Gear Solid. This is probably one of the strangest ones on this list that, to this day, I have only played one Metal Gear Solid game, and that's Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. I don't really know what led me to even play it. It's possible that I was influenced to play it by my buddy Kevin over at 2-Player Co-op, who is a huge Metal Gear Solid fan. And this is probably the first one on this list where I felt like not being familiar with the other games in the series probably did impact my view of the game. Metal Gear Solid 5 was lots of fun to play. Gameplay was great, but I didn't understand what was going on in the story. Even at the end of the game, when you get to a part that's supposed to be like a pretty big and shocking reveal, having no prior knowledge of Metal Gear or Metal Gear Solid, I went onto YouTube and needed to have somebody explain the twist to me. And then they explained it, and then I was like, oh, okay. That being said, I am still glad that I played Metal Gear Solid 5, but it's definitely a game that I think I would like to replay once I've played more of the series. I also think it's worth pointing out that when I did originally play Metal Gear Solid 5 on my Xbox, there was no way to play any of the classic Metal Gear Solid games on modern platforms. Now we have the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection, and so those games are a little bit more accessible now. I don't really know what I'm waiting for, but I'll probably pick those up in the next year, maybe. Before I give my top pick, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I met my subscriber goal for 2024, so now I'm trying to hit 500 subscribers by the end of 2025. The last one is Doom. This is the most recent one. I actually played Doom 2016, which was my entrance into the series. I played it earlier this year, and I had a really great time with it, and I didn't feel like I was missing anything. I don't know that the story of Doom is really that important. I guess people can correct me if I'm wrong there. And the next Doom game that I play is probably going to be Doom Eternal, and I'd like to play that early next year so that I can play Doom the Dark Ages right when it comes out. I am curious about the earlier games in the series, but I don't feel like by having not played them, I'm missing out on anything. And I guess that's all, guys. That has been 5 series that I enjoy that I didn't start at the very beginning. In the comment section, please let me know what series you started in the middle, or maybe even ones that you would recommend starting in the middle. Until next time, the best way to keep up with me is on Twitter and on Instagram at James_Solar, and on Blue Sky at jamessolar.bsky.social. Thanks, guys.